1973. I'm giving this 1 out of 5 stars. Hated this flick. PG movie? Oh no. Movie poster says unwittingly he trained a dolphin to kill the president of the United States. So this movie took two ridiculous premises from the book and made it into two even more ridiculous premises. Well, maybe not the first one, but anyways. The Day of the Dolphin is a 1973 U.S. science fiction thriller film directed by Mike Nichols and starring George C. Scott. In other words, it's a lamestream movie from 1973 that George Siskel liked. He said it was, George Siskel said it was one of the top 10 movies of 1973. Oh my gosh. How can anybody enjoy this? Why is it because George C. Scott is a loving person or something? I'll get to that later. I'll get to Gene Siskel's Chicago Tribune review in a minute. Based on the 1967 novel Un Animal de Raison, Sentient Animal, which is a contradiction in terms. So the underlying theme of the book is that dolphins are capable of being trained to make rational English speech. In the movie, it's kind of broken English, but still, it's a stupid premise. And I think in the book, they want to start World War III with dolphins, but in this one, they want to kill the president. Although it's not quite clear in the movie what's going on, but that's what the movie poster says. By French writer Robert Merle. He wrote Sentient Animal. The screenplay was written by U.S. Buck Henry, who was the co-writer for Mike Nichols' The Graduate, which I have not seen. Don't care to see. Buck Henry is a funny guy. I think he's in the bonus features. A brilliant and driven scientist, Jake Terrell, and his wife Maggie, along with their small team, are training dolphins to communicate with humans at their remote island research facilities filmed in the Bahamas. They teach Alpha Fa, a dolphin they have raised in captivity for 4 years, was born in the tank, to speak simple English. They introduce him to a female dolphin captured from the wild, whom they name Beta or Bay. Fa regresses to his native language for a while, but soon Fa teaches Bay to understand English too. Terrell's research is funded by the Franklin Foundation, headed by Harold DeMillo. Fritz Weaver plays a homosexual guy. He's got the scarf going around his neck like one of those movie directors trying to hide his turkey neck. An undercover, I think you know which one I'm talking about too. He used to work for Roger Corman. An undercover government agent for hire, Curtis Mahoney, Paul Sorvino. I'm not familiar with his work, but he was a big-time TV star. Paul Anthony Sorvino, criminal and law enforcement authority figure in television shows, blackmails DeMillo into allowing him access to Terrell's facility under the guise of a freelance journalist writing about dolphin research. So there's a mole in Jake Terrell's camp, some dude who got busted for heroin, and he's going under a fake name. So Curtis Mahoney threatens to expose that fact, plus the fact that DeMillo is a homosexual, but he's married. He's kind of like a Rock Hudson and one other actor that I can't think of. Rock Hudson. There was another guy who was homosexual, but he was married. I can't remember his name. I'm having a bad time with names today. I've been taking little nappy poos. I'm going to try to turn this one in to the Irving mail station if I can. I might make it if I can find parking. Although Terrell and his team attempt to stonewall Mahoney, he finds out the truth about Fa and B, and he threatens to publish his findings. To prevent this, Terrell agrees with DeMillo to reveal his progress to the Foundation Board of Directors. He travels to the mainland for a press conference. Once he and Maggie are there, the press conference is mysteriously canceled, and Fa and Bay are stolen from the island. After the dolphins are kidnapped, Mahoney reveals that the Franklin Institute is planning further to train the dolphins to carry out a political assassination using a magnetic limpet mine to kill the President of the United States. I guess I missed that part. This movie is an hour, 44 minutes too long. And budget of $8.1 million. Fuck. One of Terrell's team, David, is revealed to have been an undercover operative of the Institute, and David is helping them train the dolphins for the assassination attempt. Fa escapes, and Fa returns to the Terrells, and the conspirators set Bay off to place the mine on the president's yacht. Realizing what has happened, Jake tells Fa to stop Bay. Fa intercepts Bay and redirects her to place the mine on the conspirators' boat. I missed that part too. I just saw a boat blowing up. And you're like, okay, good thing I read Wikipedia plot before actually watching the movie because I couldn't follow what was happening. The boat is destroyed in the ensuing explosion, killing David and most of the board. Most of the board? Okay, I just saw an explosion. Fa and Bay return to the Terrells, but as DeMillo approaches the island in a seaplane, Jake instructs Fa and Bay to escape and live free in the ocean. Fa is reluctant to go, having a bond with Jake and Maggie. And that's pretty much the movie. But Jake gruffly orders him to leave because he's Patton. Eventually, both dolphins escape, leaving Jake and Maggie awaiting DeMillo. The novel was translated into English by Helen Weaver, and it was published in the U.S. 1969 under the title The Day of the Dolphin. The film version was originally going to be directed by Roman Polanski for United Artists in 1969, with Polanski writing the script. However, while Polanski was in London, England for filming locations in August 1969, his Prego's wife, the actress Sharon Tate, was murdered in their Beverly Hills home by disciples of Charles Manson. Not Charles Manson himself, but disciples of Charles Manson. Since Charles Manson brainwashed all of them, he got to serve jail time, according to the government. It was a conspiracy. Pulaski returned to the United States, and he abandoned the project. The following year, it was announced Franklin Schaffner would make the movie for Mersch Corporation. These plans were frustrated, and Joseph Levine ended up buying the project from United Artists for Mike Nichols. Scott was paid $750,000 for his role, and he got drunk and complained that acting was the only thing he could do. There are tons of bonus features on here, interviews with the writer and the actors, even biographies on Dolphin. That's why it took me so long to get through this dang disc. And the day of the trip is 2 hours, 37 minutes, man. I might not make the 3 reviews in one day goal that I have for today. I kind of made up for not applying for work on Indeed, because Indeed kept sending me these lists of jobs that I just worked off that to sort of go around the glitches that they've been having the last 3 days. Anyways, I'm sure I can get that Union Square job. It's a dangerous area, lots of crime, lots of stores shut down in that area due to crime. But anyways, I'm going to be working nights. Hopefully they'll let me park there and the doors will be locked. Anyways, the film was mostly shot on Abaco Island in the Bahamas. Production was extremely difficult. Scott allegedly held up production for 3 days at the start of the shoot. Difficult person to work with, but a great actor. Nichols later described it as the toughest shoot he had done to date. The film received mixed reviews when released in 1973. Pauline Kael, the film critic for The New Yorker, suggested that if the best subject that Nichols and Henry could think of was talking dolphins, they should quit making movies altogether. That might have been a good advice. Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune penned a positive review, commenting that ultimately The Day of the Dolphin works because of the values it celebrates and Scott communicates. The values are communication and love. In spite of their material, Nichols and Scott have given us a film that reminds us what love and care can do, not so much for the object of affection, but for the person who tenders it. On that level, The Day of the Dolphin is really a fable. Stanley Kaufman of the New Republic wrote, "The whole thing seems to have been shoved through cameras as glibly as possible so that everyone could grab the money and run. I called the picture a failure, but that implies an attempt. I feel a real effort in the only first 4 or 5 minutes." The film was not successful commercially, though it was nominated for 2 Academy Awards for Best Original Score, George Delarue, and Best Sound, Richard Portman and Larry Jost. Levine also claimed the movie had guaranteed pre-sales of $8.45 million to cover costs, including a sale to NBC, which had expressed interest in turning the story into a TV series. So I guess they broke even because the budget was $8.1 million and the pre-sales was 8.45. I don't know how much more they made in addition to the pre-sale. Alpha the Dolphin was named Best Animal Actor in the 24th Patsy Awards. Levine admitted the film was not a success. The Russians looked great, but it just didn't gel somehow. I really think Mike Nichols was the wrong guy to direct, and George C. Scott, he got paid $750,000 for that movie, and he ran us over schedule. The first 3 days of shooting, he reported in with the virus. I don't think he wanted to work. At this point in his career, he's tired of being an actor, George C. Scott. As of March 2022, The Day of the Dolphin holds a rating of 43% on Rotten Tomatoes, based on 28 reviews. Merle's novel, a satire of the Cold War, is supposedly the basis for this film, but the film's plot was substantially different from that of the novel. The movie is instead inspired in part from scientist John C. Lilly's life, a physician, biophysicist, neuroscience scientist, and inventor. Lilly specialized in the study of consciousness. In 1959, he founded the Communications Research Institute at St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, and he served as its director until 1968. There he worked with dolphins, exploring dolphin intelligence and human-dolphin communication. See also bottlenose dolphin communication and John Lilly and Sean communication. So there you have it. They Live? I've already seen bits and pieces of that. Oh, Karate Man's in the chat room. It's past 3:00. Okay, he's recommending They Live with Roddy Piper and True Vengeance. Yeah, I know about John Carpenter directing They Live. He tried to make a satire on Ronald Reagan. But it came out, the way it came out, it was almost like a libertarian film. They Live. He inadvertently became a libertarian while trying to criticize Ronald Reagan. He hated Ronald Reagan, John Carpenter. I think They Live. They Live is on my Netflix queue already. You must have recommended it to me previously, Karate Man, because it's right next. They Live is right next to Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is 332. They Live is 333. So there you have it. True Vengeance. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up True Vengeance on YouTube and see if Karate Man is telling me the truth that it's available on YouTube. But before I do that, let me tell you what's coming down the pike here on Netflix. I know you're just dying in anticipation. First up next week is Day of Wrath, 1943. Then I've got Dazed and Confused, 1993. And DC Cab, 1983. DC Cab has got Mr. T. Anyways, nice talking to you, Karate Man. I knew you were going to make an appearance today. I just knew it. I got to get going if I'm going to make the 4:30 cutoff for the mailbox for this dropping off the Day of the Dolphin. What a turd movie that was. Why is Gene Siskel recommending this movie? I still don't understand. He's saying it's all about communication and love? Please, gag me with the spoon, Gene Siskel. Laters.